Students, I hope you all are safe and healthy. My name is Ankita and I am teaching as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I welcome all of you to the lecture 16th of my online lecture series, and in this video we are going to study about interfaces and their implementation and the operations on the objects, relationship among objects, abstraction and the encapsulation. So as we know, abstraction is and data hiding is an important concept in object-oriented programming. So before this video, we have seen the concept of various concepts of object-oriented programming, and we studied about the difference between procedure-oriented programming and object-oriented programming. So from last video, that is lecture 15th, we have started completing unit 1 topics. So this video is in continuation with that unit 1. So interfaces in C++ defines the mechanism of abstraction. Like we have heard about the interfaces in the Java, which provides the behavior of any function inside the Java class. Similarly, abstraction in C++ is a process which hides the internal details and shows the functionality only or the output only. So abstraction can be achieved by two ways here. One way is through abstract classes and the another way is through interfaces. So abstract classes in C++ is a class which at least have one pure virtual function. Pure virtual functions are always declared with the help of zero value, and its implementation must be provided inside the derived class. A class or a abstract class never contains the definition of this pure virtual function. It will only provide the name, but further functionality will be given inside the derived classes for sure. So an interface describes the behavior or the capability of a C++ class without committing a particular implementation. So an abstract class does not contain the implementation of that class. So in C++, interfaces are implemented using the abstract classes, and these abstract classes should not be confused with the data abstraction, which is a concept of keeping implementation details separate from the associated data. A class is made abstract by declaring at least one pure virtual function. So this is the example wherein we have one class as ABC. It is having one pure virtual function get value, and there are three data members of the class ABC. So if a class ABC derives some other classes, like those derived classes can be with any name. So if those derived classes fail to write the definition for get value method, then they also becomes the abstract classes. Okay, so abstract class provides a pure virtual function which should be or which must be implemented inside the derived classes. Abstract class like ABC will never instantiate any object. Okay, so abstract class will serve as an interface. That means it is providing the behavior or the capability, like it is saying that you have to include the definition for the get value, and that definition can contain anything according to the class definition. Okay, so the purpose of abstract class is to provide an appropriate base class from which the other classes can be inherited. So if a class is inherited from the ABC class, it has to be implemented each of the virtual functions which are declared inside the main base class. So failure to override a pure virtual function in the derived class, then attempting to instantiate the object of that class is a compilation error. So remember that whatever class is capable of creating or instantiating any object, they are known as concrete classes, whereas classes which cannot create an object, they are known as abstract classes. So shape here is acting as an abstract class because it is providing the function draw to its derived classes. So it is providing just a function which is draw function, and the rectangle class and the circle class are the derived classes from this shape class. So this rectangle class and circle class is expected to have the definition for the draw function, which is a pure virtual function inside the shape class. So if any of class rectangle or circle fails to write any definition for this class, so they also become the abstract class. So here in the main function, as you can see, we have created the object of rectangle class and the circle class, and they can then call this draw function respectively. Okay, so This is the concept of interfaces in the C++ with the help of abstract classes. Objects are the runtime entity and instance of the class. This is the way to create a new object inside your class. This is the way. So class name comes at first and then the object name. Objects are always referred, object are also referred to as the reference variable that refers to the instance of that class. So next we will see what are the various relationships of the classes in C++. So there are basically four type of relationship that exist inside or between the classes. So inheritance, composition, aggregation and using are the four types of relationship. Inheritance says it will have a is a relationship like your B is a base class and D is the derived class, and they are this the syntax for writing the inheritance relationship. This is written in this column. So D is a derived class here and D is a specialization of the base class. You can say D inherits all the members of the B class. Composition says the ownership. P is a part of C. C is a composition, or you can say the composite class which owns the part of class P, or that part can be any object, because object is an entity through which you represent that class outside that class scope. So you will create a object in the case of composition. Third one is aggregation. As you can see, there is a diamond box which is you know dark in color, but in aggregation it is shown with the empty diamond shape. So aggregation also shows the ownership, but in this case, you know, P is having a part of A. So A is the aggregator class in this case that owns a part class P, and P is created by a member function. As you can see here in this syntax, A is a class, and in this function we are using the part of P either with the help of pointers or any other variable you can create for the P here. So A is a aggregator class in this case, and it contains a part of P in the form of a member function variable. So using refers U uses R through A instance, like it is shown in this diagram, and the syntax says the public class U, it is having the register function and it uses R. Okay, and in this register function it is having the here you can see, I'll just mark it. It is passing object as argument as a reference. So using says that when you refer or when any class uses instance of that another class as the reference, so which it holds its reference, and R is created in this case uh, like the reference of, or it is, you can say it is a referee to the class U. So all these types of relationships are shown here in these definitions. You can go through with these definitions after going through with this diagram or table. So data encapsulation next. Encapsulation is the wrapping up of your data and information under a single unit, and in object oriented programming encapsulation defines as binding of the data and functions together. This diagram shows the method, or you can say the technique to encapsulate variables and methods together in a single unit. Encapsulation also leads to the abstraction or the hiding, as using encapsulation also hides the data. So real world example can be considered as a there is a company and there are different sections like account sections, finance section and sales section. So in finance section handle all the financial transaction and keeps record of all the data related to finance. Similarly in the sales section it holds or it handles all the sales related activities. Now there may arise a situation when for some reason an official from the financial section or finance department needs all the data about the sales in a particular month. So in this case that person that person may not allow to directly access the data of the sales section. He will first have to contact to some other officer in the sales section, and then he should request him to give the particular data. But in this is what the encapsulation come into existence, and here the data of the sales section and the employees that can manipulate them are wrapped into a single unit named sales section. So data of any sections like sales, finance, or accounts is hidden from any other section. That defines the encapsulation. So here is a class. Class name can be anything. Int x is a data member here, and this x is a private data member, so it is not directly accessible outside the class scope. Here in at the semicolon, here class ends. So this is a function name, function here, member function set, which is defined inside the public section. This is again another function, set, get and set. Two functions are there, and in the main function encapsulation class creates its own object, and with this help of object. So this is a simple example of defining the encapsulation. So like we have one class, we have created one object of that class, and with the help of that object we are calling the member functions of that class. So data member cannot get access completely outside the class, because they are declared as the private data members. So here the role of access specifiers is very important. Like the data member should be labeled as private using the private access specifier, because the main focus of object oriented programming is to secure the data. So we should not allow data to be directly accessed outside the class. Hence we write those data members inside the public private section. And the member function which manipulates the data, they should be labeled as the public using the public access specifier. Data abstraction is another important or essential feature in the object oriented programming, which means displaying only the essential information and hiding the details. So the data abstraction refers to providing only essential information about the data to the outside world, and it hides the background details or the implementation. You can consider the example of television, like, or the radio. In radio you are listening the voice, you are getting the data, but how that signal converted into voice, or how it converted into the that particular format, it is hidden from the user. So that is known as the abstraction. Consider an example of car also. So applying the brakes, that will stop the car, but how it is going to do, or how it is going to process, that is hidden from the driver of the car, but it will perform the application of brakes. Okay, so abstraction can be achieved by two methods. So one type or one method is known as the classes, and another one is the header file. So we can implement abstraction using classes also. Class help us to group the data members and member functions together using the access specifiers. A class can decide which data member will be visible to the outside world and which one would be not available to the outside world. So in the case of header files, we see abstraction. High abstraction is there. Like we write the header files inside our main function. So we call the respective member functions from that header file. Like consider an example of the math.h header file, wherein we have one function called power, as you can see here. So whenever we need to calculate the power of a number, we simply call the member function power present in the math.h header file and pass the number as arguments without knowing the underlying algorithm according to which the function is actually calculating the power of number. So access specifiers are the main pillars in implementing abstraction in C++. We can use the access specifiers to enforce restriction on the class members. Like we have public and private section. So member declared as public in the class, they can be accessed anywhere inside the program. And member functions or member data members declared as private in the class, they can be accessed only from the uh, member functions of the class, or you can say only it can be accessible only within the class. They are not allowed to access from any of the part of code outside the class. So its advantages are like it helps users to avoid writing of the low level code and avoids code duplication and increases the reusability. It can change internal implementation of this class independently without affecting the user. It helps increasing the security of an application or program, as only important details are provided to the user. So the roles of access specifiers in this section also, we saw the role of access specifiers in case of encapsulation also. So we will see the member declared as public inside a class, they can be accessible from anywhere inside the program, and member function declared as private, they are not allowed to get accessed from any part of the program. Okay, so this was about the interfaces and implementation of the classes, and the relationship among classes, like or the relationship among objects. So there are four types of relationship exist in the case of objects: inheritance, inheritance, aggregation, and using relationship was there, and composition relationship was there. So for next topics, we will be sharing the lecture 17 soon. Till then, take care. Thank you.